Thank you for joining us today at Miniature Wargaming Labs. Today we'll be putting together the Gene Stealer Cult Primus from the Shadow Throne box. That's just the example of how you put together some of the Gene Stealer guys here. But you notice I swapped out the base for a Necromunda base because I use my Gene Stealer cults in Necromunda, not in the regular game. So that's how I found my value out of this box. So let's go ahead and get started on this guy. To get started, I have my instruction book here, and I have a baking sheet that I set it in. I'm going to open up, and we're going to do the Gene Stealer Cult Primus. Now the reason I have a baking sheet is I'm going to cut out pieces from the sprue. You see I've already started on some characters here, get warmed up, and when I clip them off, I don't want them falling on the floor. So if I clip over a baking sheet, it tends to catch anything I drop and keep it contained. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our sharp German clippers here. We're going to face the flat edge to the model. We're going to try to cut it as tight to the model as we can. You just want to separate, it's called the sprue gate, from the model, as tight to the model as possible without cutting into the model. So what we're going to do is I cut out C21, so now I'm going to set it there, and we're going to move on down the lines. And so as we cut pieces out, we're going to set them down on their picture. Now we're going to get this model ready for cleaning. So we're going to start grabbing the parts here, and where we clip them off, it's still a little rough, so we'll take our X-Acto blade. We'll start cleaning off the little gubbins get stuck there, then you come off smooth. Now you can't leave it at that, but if you want to get an extra refinement, and which is good for the paint job, take a little metal file. Got this at Home Depot years ago, and if you actually look at the sprue gates where they all connected, there's a little plastic line, so you can take that off. So that little extra touch I like to do. And then when we're done, we'll set it back down, and then we'll go through and finish cleaning these all off, and we'll get ready for assembly. Now we have all our little bits cleaned up here, so let's start the gluing process. I'm going to use some liquid plastic glue here. And so something you should do is take it, dry fit it, and spin it around, get a sense of how this is supposed to come together. Alright, so there's this little notch here, so I'm going to go up the robe, a slight little bead. Don't want to get it into that notch right there, because that's where the neck's going to fit in. I don't want to get that sticky yet. So I'm going to squeeze this together. Then you can see where the robe's joined. There's a little gap, so I'm going to rub a little bit more into there. Wasn't paying attention how I was looking at the camera. Do the same here. Try to cover up that seam since it's supposed to be cloth. Let that dry. Alright, so now put on the leg here. Oh, I had a little... I wonder how I missed that one on the inside of the cloak. Now it's not going to show up too much. Okay, that happens. So put it around the hole. I don't like putting it in the hole because some of this stuff is machined to very high tolerance. Alright. So next I will do the arm. It's not a complex build. That one will just go in the socket. And he's crouching upward evilly. Oh, what is he? There we go. Trying to see how that went. That's the nice thing about plastic glue is it'll get sticky for you, and you can play around with where you want it. Where super glue will freeze right away. It'll stay loose, and then once it locks, it locks. Alright, now I'll put the head in. And I am just fumbling with my fingers today, so I'll go ahead and use tweezers. Get in there. Get in there. You know what? It seems, I can tell if I'm getting in there right. You know what I do? Just lop that little nub off there. And then we'll make up for it by blasting it with a bunch of plastic glue. Then I will drop it in. Sometimes you have that with Games Workshop ones where your head and brain and hands aren't just connecting right. And you know, it allows you to play around with the look. So I like that visage right there. Blurry. Now let's mount it to the base. Like I said before, I want this for games of Necromunda. So I'm going to use the Necromunda 32mm base, not the one that came with the box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and hold the base towards me, sight the guy, so as much of the guy is inside that 32mm circle as possible. And then, given this Necromunda base, I'm going to aim for those right there. I want somewhere it's flat, equal, same surface. There we go. Very good. Came all together. It's looking good. Now, once you clean them up, the fit goes together really well in these models. Alright, well, thank you for joining us at Miniature Wargaming Labs, and we'll see you next time.